we are in a much better position globally because of Governor Brown's leadership and the subnational partnerships and regional partnerships that Governor Brown forged as governor of California. We like to think of ourselves, rightly so, as a mighty economic power, but also a mighty values-driven power. And so while one of my fondest memories of Governor Brown is an interaction with my wife and me, when my wife asked him what he was going to do in retirement, he said, well, I'm going to solve the climate crisis and take on nuclear war. And just, okay, that sounds like a busy retirement. So a lot of respect for I wouldn't even describe it as a second career, just another career in a long line of tackling some of our biggest problems. And the climate crisis is an existential threat, probably the greatest threat that humanity has ever faced, on par with nuclear annihilation. And I'm grateful that Brown is putting his energies toward that, and that UC is able to continue partnering with those who can do the very most to limit the threat of the climate crisis, and that absolutely must include China. If we're not looking toward China as a place for solutions to our biggest problems, we would be looking in the wrong direction. China must be a part of the solution. And China's an amazing place, an amazing culture, an amazing economic power, an amazing people, a place I've been privileged to visit. My children study Mandarin in school. I firmly believe China is part of California's future. And so I know that this climate work can continue without this legislation. And I struggle with this legislation not because of the threat that the climate crisis confronts us with, but because of other issues happening inside China's borders right now that cannot go unnoticed, that we know about, that we are all aware of, that Secretary of State Tony Blinken referred to as genocide just this week in reference to China's treatments of the Uyghur Muslims. So we can't just act like everything is normal when we are engaging with China, even on existential threats, when we know that really bad things are happening inside China. And I think about what would occur during a different, very challenging time for all the people on our planet during the global depression, during the Great Depression of the 30s. If California or the United States or another mighty economic power thought Germany is the linchpin of getting humanity out of this economic crisis. Imagine this being post-Kristallnacht, maybe pre-death camp Germany. And we said, we can pull the whole globe out of this, so let's have stronger partnerships with Germany. While we knew that internment camps, concentration camps were going on, which they probably did, but people went along. And no one in a distant capital who thought that they were mighty or powerful ever reconciled that this was going on inside that country, inside Germany. Imagine what that would have been like. It probably happened. So here we are, a century later, and we know what is happening. We here in Sacramento, the fifth mightiest economic power in the world, we like to call ourselves, know what's going on. Millions of people torn from their homes, their families, their language, their culture, their faith, placed in camps. And we are going to act like it's business as usual and codify a partnership that's just already taking place anyway, without recognition that this is happening to millions of our fellow members of humanity. So it's, I think that we have a lot of work to do in how we reconcile that and how we partner with China. how we pass bills and legislation that make reference to China. And this is, it's challenging because I fully recognize the existential threat that climate change is. It's not worth casting aside what is happening to a part of humanity in China when we do this. So as this bill moves forward, I don't believe I'm able to stop this bill, and I told the author that that wasn't my intention when I told him I needed to raise these issues, although I do need to vote no. But that we need to reconcile this in how we move forward with this legislation and how we move forward with how California, if we think that we are the leaders of the world both economically and values-wise, deals with these types of issues. Thank you.